The Time Is Now, read by author Lonnie Ray from Rattled Awake, the Writers and Poets edition. Do you ever wonder, when will it be my turn? Over 30 years ago, I felt compelled by an inner voice that urged me to start a radio show. Why? It was a crazy idea. I had no clue where or how. All I knew was it had to be done. I asked the mailman, grocery clerks, and the ice cream truck driver, "Who do you know in radio? I'm supposed to have a radio show. I just know it." And they would smile, shrug, and say, "Good luck, kid." Dang, but this thing wouldn't leave me alone. So I kept asking. Wisdom tells us to consult the wise. The ones who have it figured out have so much to share. I'd already done that in a TV show where I interviewed very successful business owners. Living Dreams was a peel and reveal program meant to shed light on decision making, finding our way, braving the unknown in exchange for the known. When I asked, "How do you decide what to do with your company?" I expected them to haul out pie charts, cite economic statistics and graphs, all as their guiding lights. And instead, time and again, I got this. "Well, you see," cue foot shuffles, "I do what feels right. It can look crazy to other people, defy logic, make no sense to me at the time. But what I've learned is if I ignore it, I pay for it. I regret it, the business suffers, and then I have to recover." Now, hold on just a minute there, Mr. Businessman. Are you telling me that intuition is how you run your multi-million-dollar business? This smacked up against my beliefs that all businessmen were spiritually shallow. I got that example from my father, the big wheel entrepreneur. Back then, it wasn't cool to say intuition in a business setting. Yet there it was, with physical proof these guys were onto something. I dubbed their responses as following their big yes. The nudge to get a radio show was my big yes. After months of asking, I got my big break. I called it the Big Yes and was off to the races. I dreamt of interviewing big name motivational speakers and authors living their big yes. Don't give me the book pitch interview, Mr. Best-selling author speaker. Tell us how you knew what to do with your life. And while you're at it, give us the untold backstory on the who that is you behind the what that you do. Please and thank you. It was a unique approach back then. Family. My dad urged me not to go for the top guess, said I needed practice before reaching up so high. I said, "Bah, called to do it, gonna do it. We'll figure it out along the way, Pop. I'm gonna ask for the moon and see what stars show up." All the usual suspects said yes to being on the show. Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Neil Donald Walsh. Wow, this blew my mind. I was a nobody. But it was one guest one night, a guy named Mark, whom I'd seen on TV and had just co-authored a little book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, that proved life-changing. Even though the station was suddenly sold overnight, bye-bye talk show, the nudge to get a radio show suddenly made sense. All it takes is one person to change the trajectory of your life. Over the years, I not only got to do voiceovers for Mark's cassette tape series. Yes, this was pre-CD. I was privileged to have him as a mentor and to attend many Speak and Write for Millions courses. I started doing talks. Things were going pretty well. And then I got fired from a gig for talking about parasites instead of personal transformation. "Last year, you were so uplifting, we wanted you back. What was that all about?" said the festival organizer. "Oh, yeah, well, it's been a rough year for me. I thought you were looking for real life transformation. A little too real, huh?" I said. "Parasites are a bigger issue than you might realize." She bit her lip, turned on her heel, and that, as they say, was that. But one woman thanked me privately, saying, "Oh, thank God for you and your courage, ma'am. I've been dealing with brain fog and health issues because of parasites, too. You helped me realize I'm not the only one. Thank you so much for speaking up today." Sidebar. To all of you who say, if I only help one person, it's enough, know that you probably have already. It's really sweet to say that, but why not add 2 zeros to the end of that one? Your wisdom has the power to transform many lives. Anyway, not long after that, I got mixed up with the wrong people. Waylaid, derailed, hit the skids, the whole shebang. Addiction, homelessness, and all that goes with being a lost soul. It got me on the Tyra Banks show, but a one-off moment on TV doesn't burst into a career on its own. Life often challenges us to embrace the unknown and trust the process, especially when our big yes seems delayed. There seems to be a timing we have little control over. Mark left a spark of inspiration which set the foundation for life as I know it today. Author, editor, and creator of the international best-selling anthology series Rattled Awake. I just didn't know it would take 25 years to manifest. None of us knows what, when, or how, do we? And yet this delay now seems okay. Over the years, I acquired knowledge, took personal growth seriously, untied the knots from a difficult upbringing. Rewriting one's next chapter can be a lot of work. In 2018, I was hired on as a trial run as an editor. Found a knack for story development and a love for elevating voices that needed to be heard. Everything was working out until it wasn't. I lost my job during COVID and scrambled faster than a line cook at Denny's. An accident set me back, and suddenly I was one finger typing instead of 65 words a minute as an editor. No one was finding me work. And if they did, no one was fielding me work. And if they did, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. My beseeching to whoever listens to us up there went something like this. All I want to do is help people do more of what they were born to do. You know, I love to cheerlead, to take these built-in pom-poms and shake them in somebody's direction. What else do I need to know or be or do? Am I on the right path at all? Cue the tear factory. To have lived this long and still question really sucks, frankly. I'll bet you know how it feels to try and try, only to fall short of your dream. You can't help but think, is this a sign to quit or try harder? Followed by, when is it going to be my turn? This set of circumstances is how and why Rattled Awake came into being, by the way. Weekend workshops utilizing story development skills combined with an author's writing a chapter and getting published days later has become a winning combination. Even so, I wondered, am I on the right path? Is this it? Is this quote unquote it? Once again, I was asking for help from on high or anywhere in between. And then this happened. I followed the big yes to take a walk at apparently just the right time. I didn't know why I felt so compelled to take that walk. Delete the need to understand. Even more mysterious was the push to cross the street and call out my neighbor's name. I hadn't seen him since last year. Adam, are you there? It felt urgent we speak. He practically bounded off the porch to meet me. Today's the first day I've had off in 4 months, he said. When we last spoke, he was inconsolable over a job loss, so depressed he could barely function. Those deep blues consumed him for about a year. The man who stood before me was a changed man. What are you doing that makes you look so happy and keeps you so busy? I listened to him relay strange circumstances leading to his phenomenally successful new business. He showed me his calendar, booked solid since March and for the rest of the tourist season ahead. Verbal pom-poms flew into action. Wow, I can't believe the turnaround. Wow, what a great story of determination, perseverance, and ambition you are. Picking up on the cue, he said, people keep telling me I should write a book. My life includes abuse, being trafficked, addiction, and oh my God, my childhood. I need somebody to write my story for me. All I want to do is help people with what I've been through. I just don't know how. I don't have time to write a book. Where would I start? It's overwhelming just thinking about it. I said, recently, I hosted a class. Why you need to write a mini memoir, what readers want now. Adam, what you have is a series. You want little books that don't traumatize your readers with a fire hose of horrible events, honey. You know, he said, yes, yes, that's what I need, a series. My life is a series of stories, that's for sure. I said, oddly enough, I have a series that focuses on transformational events over the last 5 years. The stories vary, but the end result, how are you better, not bitter, is what ties them together. These are pivots for the positive. How did you find a way to and through something over the last 5 years? We do this over one weekend, so it's fast, and then it's done. 4 days later, we promote the book, and by Saturday, it hits the bestseller list in every category. This is what I love to do, Adam. I show people how to take a chapter out of their lives, help others, and fuel their future as a result. This all happened out of the blue since I last saw you. He appeared to be lost in thought. I stopped talking. Was he listening? Did I say too much? Sometimes enthusiasm can be mistaken for a sales pitch. Suddenly, his eyes shifted back toward me, and a smile lit up his face. That's what you do? That's just beautiful. What a great idea. Which story do you think I should start writing first? Should it be about the sex trafficking or my childhood? He shared details that made me shudder. It'll be a tough read, bless his heart. I mentally noted all the details of his miraculous rebound over the year. That's the story begging to be told. I was hope against hope against hoping, hope against hope, hoping that he would use Rattled Awake as his way of reaching a lot of people with this recent pivot. Logic kicked in. Forget about it. He's too busy to attend a weekend workshop, silly. He just showed you his calendar. Face it, it's just talk. My hopeful self chimed in. Ah, shut up. There's a reason you two connected today. Besides, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so go for it. Well, I said, how you bounced back from last year's setback is freaking amazing. I would love to tell that story. There are so many people losing jobs and losing hope, Adam. I kept expecting the conversation to shift to his flower garden or how he needed to go make dinner. Boy, was I wrong. When is it due? He said. Earlier that day, I was inspired to change the date from June 21st to a week later. Intuition? Sure, let's go with trusting the push to move dates. Volume 10 starts June 28th, and he cut me off. Uh-oh, here we go. Get ready for the other shoe to drop. You're not going to believe this. He whipped out his calendar and continued. June 28th is when I returned from a 5-day retreat with someone who wants to work with me to help me write my story. I could so totally have a chapter for you on June 28th. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. Deal, oh my God. And the number 10, that's powerful. I'll hand you the money and my chapter that day, okay? Oh my God, I'm so excited. Thank you. I'm so glad you stopped by. I've never been so glad to be wrong. It can feel like a miracle when things fall into place so quickly. In fact, the next day, another person said, oh, wow, I can't believe I have June 28th open. I'm usually booked months ahead. Sign me up. There seems to be something in the air. Can you feel it? Good things are happening. Great people are finding each other. It seems like now is the time for us to find and align with like minds. Indeed, the time is now. Over the years, I've promoted everything from Buicks to baked hams. Yes, baked hams. The gigs were always short-lived and often hard work. Hauling bottles of water in a wagon over snow-covered sidewalks was less than excellent. Doing makeovers under a tent in the sweltering heat was nothing to write home about either. Playing Milk in the Oreo cookie tour was a hoot, though. The variety of promotional brands kept it interesting, but it wasn't a career move. One tends to age out of promotional model brand ambassador work, darn it. But the love of promotions is in my soul. As a publisher and self-professed promo hoe, I started looking for a way to help authors market themselves once they have a book. A book is just the beginning of what they need to share their brilliance and make money. Those on a mission to serve others have to keep marketing. They need to offer a course, get on podcasts, or speak in summits. It's a lot to learn, and they get stuck trying to do it all alone. I know this, but only have two hands. How am I going to help them? That was when the great discovery happened. The universe responded, and divine timing brought an incredible man and mentor my way. His name is Alex, and he has shown me how to help them in ways that make so much sense. You'd wish you'd thought of it, I swear. Being on Team Alex has been the most incredible experience of my life, one of genuine support, mentorship, and collaboration. Helping thought leaders promote their course, technique, talents, and systems is a win-win-win. There's nothing like sharing courses they created, vital information that serves authors, speakers, podcasters, coaches, and everyday people to lead better lives. The great discovery is a V8 moment, so big I am truly rattled awake. Best of all, free courses like Podcasting for Beginners and How to Create Courses That Convert serves rattled awake authors in ways they will need down the road. Showing course creators how a lifetime hosting deal is cheaper than 6 months on other platforms, which do not give you an army of free affiliates, makes me feel great versus awkward about sharing this revolutionary business model. Hundreds of affiliates marketing your coaching or courses in over 200 countries, your voice translated into 100 languages, and revenue sharing enables thought leaders to reach, teach, earn, and learn like never before. Plus, there are no monthly fees for folks like us wanting to earn some extra money for doing what we do, referring good people to a really good thing. Wait, what? Like, how good is this? It also means natural cheerleaders can build a business waving their pom-poms. Is the sign and resource I asked for, but had no idea existed. Stay focused on the what, and the how makes itself known. Please don't mistake my enthusiasm for a sales pitch. Tone it down. My dad had a way of stomping the light and delight right out of me. But Dad, this guy invented a zapper that removes lip herpes. Think of the millions of people he can help. I'm so excited. He's my client. We're going to make a fortune. Aren't you at least happy for me? He wasn't. You got to tone it down. Put a lid on that excitement, will you? It's too much. He was always tamping me down. Sadly, his deathbed words to 55-year-old me were, "You could have been something. You could have been on Fox News." Thanks, Pop. His idea of success was never my idea of a good time. The lesson? Just because your family or friends don't get it does not mean you should limit yourself so they feel better. I was a late bloomer. You might be too. So what? Don't let anyone tamp you down, honey. It could very well be that all this time has passed to ready and steady you for what's next. Just allow optimism to enter. The law of courage states, fear departs where action is present. Begin asking for help from the right sources and voices of experience. Be relentless. It pays off if you follow up. Listen to your big yes. Be curious. Explore. When will it be your turn? It might just be now. Remember, what calls to you is meant for you. Everything you want is on the other side of something you haven't tried yet. You can visit rattledawake.com and find resources, the free and access to a library of free classes that will rattle you awake. The end. Lonnie Ray is a professional tumbleweed who has lived to tell about it, literally. Embracing variety is the spice of life, and embodying her childhood hero, Pippi Longstocking, her life has been an adventure into unknown territories. Reinventing herself from the inside out, she has returned with a lantern and a laugh to shine the light on the path for those who want to rewrite their next chapter. She has helped dozens of authors create books they are proud of, and is especially proud to have been editor of the Indie Book of the Year 2023. Her books, Life Lessons Learned from a Lousy Mother, and How to Deal with a Dumbass, What to Do and Say When They Come Your Way, along with her 9th podcast, How to Deal with the Dumbass, a Spiritual Perspective, have helped others feel lighter, laugh more, and live out loud. Her transformational writing workshops turn nervous Nellies into confident writers, speakers, and podcast guests. A 14-time international best-selling writer and ghostwriter, Lonnie is always on the lookout for people who want to join the movement that is Rattled Awake.